Alright, today I'm going to take you through the 5 steps to assemble a Delta table saw. Alright, hello YouTubers. It's Friday night, time for a video. So I got a new project today. I sold my old table saw because I hated it. It was one of the cheapest table saws ever made, and I endured that for 15 years. So finally I just said the hell with it. I sold it and went on the hunt for a new table saw, and today I picked it up. So what we got is a Delta table saw. Picked it up from Lowe's. I believe it's a 36-725 is the model number, and I'll get you a look at it, and tonight we're gonna put it together, so I hope. I think there's a lot of pieces to it, so it's gonna take a while, but I'll try to video that and show you the process as I go. But until we get started here, let me show you what I got, and we'll go from there. Alright, so here it is. It's a contractor saw, although it's got like a partial cabinet, and it's got the large extension off to the right hand side. I think you can get a 30-inch cut to the right of the blade. This thing is really heavy. It's 220 pounds in the box, and short of getting a cabinet saw, I think this is probably the best saw on the market for the money. It's about $600, and the reason I like it a lot is it's got a T-square fence. It's kind of their take on the Biesemeyer fence, but it's almost identical. It's a angle iron, very robust fence system, and as you know, the fence is what's most important on a table saw. So really excited to have it. Can't wait to get it put together and try it out. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright, I got my beer, got my razor blade. Cheers. Alright, it looks like it's in 100 parts. Ton of parts. Oh, that's packing material. It's like a check sheet. feet. Some wheels. Part of the fence. Alright. Looks like it's packed in here upside down. I think the plan is, we'll read the instructions in a minute, but it's to build the bottom end of it while it's in the box. And then you flip it out of the box. Comes with a push stick. Take a look at the directions. Alright, looks like we gotta do the legs first. 1/2 inch. Okay. Of course, it's a different size. You can already tell I'm about to drag every tool out of my toolbox tonight. What size is it? Is it metric? It's metric. Oh, my back. Alright. Let's get these started. You got tape over the holes. I'm quite sure why they did that. It's like they painted over them. nuts aren't big enough. Needs bigger nuts. The side of the nut falls in the hole. There was no washers for this stuff. There should be. Yeah. Delta, you need to do better. There should be washers. And that nut should be bigger. Leg support panels. Hole's too small. You gotta thread the screw through the hole. Yeah, I mean, what sense does this make? See this hole? See that hole? Screw doesn't go in it. You gotta thread it through the hole. By the way, best drill driver ever made, Milwaukee. This thing is awesome. Better than the DeWalt I had. It's 18 volt lithium ion. It's friggin' awesome. It comes with I got it in a kit, and it comes with a impact driver as well. Love it, love it, love it, love it. One more. That hole is drilled small in every panel. Step one complete. Alright, now it's time for wheels. I read some reviews on how to put this saw together. I saw several videos. They all complained about how horrible the directions were. So I wonder, because there's a quick start guide in the package now. And I'm wondering if they put that in there because of all the complaints, because it's actually very good. All the bags are labeled, and each step on the thing in the quick start or quick installation guide says use bag A for this step or use bag B for this step. So I mean, how much more clear can it get than that? All I can think of is maybe before it didn't have any of that, and they've modified the instructions in the hardware bags to make it easier, because this has actually been pretty simple. I just think they should give you washers for some of this stuff. I mean, for instance, this is a wheel, and well, I suppose it's a collared bolt, so it's probably okay, but it seems like there ought to be a washer. They are nylon nuts, so they're pretty good quality. Alright. What size is this? Got lucky, 1/2 inch. Yeah, see, if you tighten that up, wheel doesn't roll. next thing is the feet. By the way, I assembled it backwards on purpose. This is supposed to go on that side. However, if you look at the saw, that side is where the extended the extended table section is. So in order to move this thing, you got to reach way up under there with your leg to kick this wheel up. And I noticed that everybody on everybody that I saw put it together, they intentionally did it this way. It feels like it's cross-threading. No, it's okay. Alright. So that's the feet. Next step, I think, is to stand this thing up. It's got a set screw on the back side of this. So when you get it level, you can run that set screw up in there, lock it down. Alright, it looks like the next thing is I gotta stand this thing up. So it says to use a 2x4, but I gotta cut this box off of here first. Alright, scrap 2x4. Alright, it says use 2 people for this. I don't have 2 people. So, here we go. Shit. Got it. All right, I'm back here. I might have to switch this around so I can see. What's that? Extension wings. Extension wings A. Use hardware bag C. Hardware bag C. I gotta sit down, folks. Back's killing me. Taking a look here. Rail goes here. Wings on either side. So I don't guess it matters which one we put on first. I'm supposed to use these bolts. Which I suppose we can use that if it'll fit. If it doesn't, we'll use that. And that goes to something else. Alright. So I don't guess it matters which side. Oh, glad that came out. These are not cast iron wings. They're stamped steel. I don't think I care, but we'll see. Looks like it's going to be a little bit challenging to get them leveled, but we'll figure it out. So I'm going to take a piece of wood. Probably ought to do. Let's get a level or something here. That's not the right size. I guess the rail will hold that up. It's sagging. Alright, that's that side. It's the same on this side, so I'm not going to reposition for the camera. The thing's too heavy. Might be a baseball game on tonight. Something called the World Series, I don't know. Can't keep track of when it's on. Alright, wings are on. Step 3 complete. Step 4, front and rear rails. Use hardware bag D. Alright, I'm back. Looks like I need a tape measure. Rails, 36 3/4. That would not be that one. That would be that one. And 20 inches. Over 20, but okay. Move these two. Four, 5/16 bolts. Washers and lock nuts. I think it goes this way. I apologize for the angle. I just don't have a very mobile camera, so it's the best I can do. One, two, three, four. Rail union plate C, using two M5/16 and M5 nuts. And there you go. Those are bizarre screws. Need more tools. 3/8 wrench? No, 5/16. So this just locks the two pieces of rail together since it's a two-piece. I know there's a lot of people that were upset that it's a split rail design, but after reading all the comments, and it turns out to be a non-issue once you get it aligned. I'm sure the aligning part is the hard part, but I can tell that that's not quite lined up, so probably ought to leave it a little bit loose. Use alignment gauge. I think I'm going to start on this side. Kind of hard to do. Low right there. see what I'm doing here? Where's my wrench? It seems to be aligned pretty well, actually. Good there. Good there. I don't know if I got it or not. Not sure I did it right at all. I think maybe I did. Alright, take a break. Alright, I'm back. And the game is on. It's like it just started. A little low on energy tonight. Kind of resting today and kind of tweaked my back getting this saw at the store. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to get the saw. I knew I was going to get it. I walked right in. I knew where it was. It's 230 pounds. So I went and got a cart. And on my way back to get the saw, well, I put the cart in front of the saw. And then I walked over to the hardware section right across from there. And I asked the older gentleman if he could get somebody to help me put the saw on the cart. And he's like, well, I'll help you. Well, you know, no offense, but this guy's like 80 years old, 75, you know, he's 70 at least. He's a retired guy working at Lowe's, you know, and that's fine. That's what I want to do when I retire. But, I mean, we're talking about 230 pounds here, deadlift in a massive box. So I was like, all right. So we went over and he's like, oh, Jesus. When we went to move the saw out. And I'm like, well, it's really heavy. You want to get somebody else? And he's like, oh, no, we'll get it. Well, needless to say, we struggled with it and got it on the cart. But I think I tweaked my back. And luckily, they got a young guy to help me and get it in the truck. And then, of course, I was too stubborn to wait when I got home. So I just dumped it out of the back of the truck on a hand truck and muscled it into the garage. But whatever. That's more complaining. So, I think we're supposed to put the back rails on now. So, I think it goes this way. going on? Look at there. Goes this way. That goes there. So far, I like this thing. This looks like a nice saw. I'm gonna see, but I think it's exactly what I was wanting. I really wanted a grizzly. Well, let's face it, I really want a saw stop, but they're $3,000, and I don't use a table saw that much. But a grizzly would be nice. But they're $1,500, $1,800. So that's a little bit out of my price range too. So it really comes down to, if you want a decent saw at a mid-range, you don't want to buy those junk fold-up saws. It's kind of a hybrid, what they call a hybrid saw. It's a different, it's like almost a cabinet saw, but not one of these collapsible, throw in the back of your truck saws. So, got this, and I got one at Home Depot, rigid, 45, 12, or 40, something like that. And this one gets rated higher. People like it better than the rigid, it seems like, anyway, so that's why I went with this one. Those go down there. I'm going to put a router table in the extension down here on the end one of these days. That'll be a future project. Router table between the extension or the angle bars. Then you can use the same fence as a router fence. Build a couple of little jigs. Be sweet. Alright, I need these. Looks like I'm missing a washer. No, I'm not. There it is. So whatever it was with the instructions that people had complained about in the reviews on Lowe's and online forums, they fixed it. I'm here to tell you, these instructions are not bad. They labeled everything. They tell you where the hardware's at. It's all separated in compartments and bags, and it's all labeled. So whatever they used to do, they don't do that anymore. So all that complaining that everybody did, I think worked, because they've definitely listened and fixed it. Alright, I guess I'm supposed to now align the back. I don't know what these screws are for. Oh, these are for the spreader bar. It goes on next, I think. So it says to use in the back. I guess it goes that way. Oh. Alright. change this thing. Problem right there. I'm gonna have to move that down. That's slightly off. All right. I'm not real happy with that, but we'll see how it works. Can you still see here? All right. Spreader bar. That would be this guy. Quite sure which way's up. Almost looks like these face in. But if that's the case, Yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess that's the way it goes. Need ½ inch. Wrench. Can't use a ratchet. Not sure I'll get the wrench off here. Can't get the wrench on it. It's too close to the bar. Seems legit. What's next? Taking a break. So we're putting the fence guide on. hardware bag E. Looks like I'm out of hardware, so that's a good sign. Almost done. Thinking that's left. And this is right. These go together like this. Somehow it all screws together. I love this Biesemeyer style fence. They call it a T-square, the Delta does, but it's really the same thing. It's really well made. What's the little screw for? Guess we'll figure that out in a minute. Am I supposed to put the power cable bracket? So these two screws over here hold the power switch. I'm not sure if all these were the same. Suppose I should have paid attention. 1/4 20 half, 1/4 20 half, same side. Not very long. Alright. I need a screwdriver. Oh, they're not Phillips. I guess I'm supposed to use this. See, that's the kind of attention to detail stuff I'm talking about right there. You can't get a wrench on the screw because they've got clearance issue here. Come on, Delta. Get with it, man. That won't work. This barely works. fence is the truth. Legit. Alright, somewhere over here there's supposed to be a cable tie. Rear side of front rail. Oh, right there. I guess this is supposed to go in there. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, where's my screwdriver? If this pisses me off, I'm just gonna not use it. Just saying. Alright, I got it. I don't know what use that is, but so I'm at the end of the directions, and I've still got pieces left. I suppose that's okay. Insert the throat plate. Screws are only for leveling. It's a little low. Let's level it. Oh yeah. Okay, we're back. We've finished step 5, and which was to put the rail on and mount the power switch. So I've done a couple of adjustments. The fence was actually contacting the side table here on the corners, so I went back and loosened 2 or 3 screws, made sure that everything was level. I used a level and a piece of wood to make sure it was all level. I tightened everything back down, and now my fence doesn't hit anything when it goes back and forth over the saw. So there was a piece of packing material, and it tells you this in the instructions, wedged up in next to the motor for shipping. So what it tells you to do is rotate the saw to 45 degrees angle. That piece of styrofoam just falls out of the bottom when you do that, and then you rotate back to 0 and lock it down. I'm going to do a separate video on aligning everything and checking the alignment and square. So more to follow. so be sure to come back for that video. I hope to create that one here in the next, well, if not tonight, maybe tomorrow or the next day. So the only thing left to do right now is, I think installation is complete. The miter gauge, I just stored away. It's very nice quality. It has the handles for the raising and lowering of the blade, and also a handle for the angle of the blade, and then the handle for the fence. So put those on. I'm all done. So what we do now is the nickel test. Everybody does a nickel test. So right here I've got a nickel standing up on end, and we're going to turn it on and see what happens. So smoke test, stand by. Holy crap, it's smooth. It's got a break. That was as smooth as I've ever seen. I've never had a table saw like this. I've always had an old junky Craftsman that sounded like a train whistle. So good grief, that thing is quiet. So that's it. The nickel stood. No vibration. We'll do some test cuts. When I do the setup of the square, we'll make some test cuts to make sure that we're cutting square to the fence. There is an adjustment. We also need to check the accuracy of the fence gauge to see if we're the measurement system that's on the rail is accurate. We'll make sure we're cutting parallel to the miter slot and parallel to the blade. We'll also check the upright to make sure that the blade is parallel to or perpendicular to the tabletop. And then hopefully we won't have to make any adjustments, but if we do, we'll go through that in the next video. So be sure to check back for the next video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please hit that like button if you like the video. Also hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And I'm going to put a link to the table saw if you want to pick one up, or a very similar model to this one. Then I'll give you the link in the description. So again, appreciate it. Have a nice day.